Now, our retail strategy is a little different. I mean, everybody kind of has a different strategy. And we talk to, I mean, I know people that I network with here even in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and they go to different stores than we do, and they have different criteria, and they handle things differently than we do, and that's totally fine. I just want to share with you our strategy. Kind of what separates us from the pack of online sellers is that we focus on negotiation. We don't want to buy. We want to buy as little product off the shelf at regular shelf prices as possible, because we know the market is flooded with retail arbitrage people. So we want to buy product off the shelf, but we want to get a substantial discount, which we feel like is really going to separate us from our competitors, and it does. So we found a a product sourcing specialist that had good negotiation skills. Just somebody who had really good interpersonal skills, communication skills, seemed very outgoing, just seemed like a genuinely nice guy. We want them to come across professional, we want them to come across approachable. We want the managers to think that they're very trustworthy, and I think that's ultimately aided to our success. And then we spent the first few months, me working side by side with our book sourcing specialist, establishing relationships with store managers. And so at first I was there, but then after the first month of training, he was off on his own. But I was there remotely, giving him encouragement and just saying, okay, this is how you should approach the store manager. This is what you should be asking. This is what you should be trying to offer them as far as our services are concerned. Again, we're looking to set up mutually beneficial relationships with these managers, these stores. And so we really want to sell our services to them in a way that they feel like would benefit their business. And so now we get to buy products that have an excellent rank and an excellent ROI. Right? It's crazy. I mean, we're buying products that on average have 100% ROI or better. That means for every dollar that we invest in a retail arbitrage product, we're getting $150 or $1.50 out of it, which is great. I mean, it's not book selling great, but it's good, especially because the ranks are really well too. Like my guy just bought 200 boxes, 80-count boxes of K-Cups, this cappuccino variety of K-Cups from a local retail store. They were trying to get rid of them. He knew they're trying to get rid of them because he'd been working with the store for almost a year now. Talked to the store manager, got the price way down. These had a rank of like under 100 in grocery. And so we sent these 200 plus K-Cups in, and they sold within like less than a week. And we made it just a ton of profit. It was great. Now the profitability per item wasn't as good as it is maybe on a book, but we sold them super fast. So now we can take that profit and we can roll it back into more inventory. We compensate our RA guy a little different than we do our book people. I think that ideally you shouldn't have the retail guy or the book guy do the sourcing and the listing. I think you need to separate those responsibilities. But as of the time that I created this video, our retail guy does both the sourcing and the shipping, and this is what he gets paid. So he does it all. We don't do any retail arbitrage sourcing. We don't do any of the shipping ourselves. He does all of that. He started at $600 a week. When we brought him on board during training, he was working 60 hours a week in a manufacturing job. So he's already away from his wife and his daughter for way too long. But we really knew that he could be an asset to our company. We knew that he'd fit really well in. He could doing this job in retail arbitrage. So we said, I'll tell you, we'll pay you $600 a week. That'll be your flat weekly salary. Come work for us. And so he came and worked for us. We trained him in. He made $600 for a week. Now, just a few months ago, we bumped it up to $700 a week, or a 20% commission after the sale on the items that he's sold. So when he's listing the items, he's putting his name in as a supplier on Inventory Lab, and so we can sort to see which items are selling and who the original purchaser was. And so every month, I'll look up all the sales that he had. If he's made more than $700, he'll get the commission. Otherwise, he gets that flat commission rate. And now because he has the floor, we put a ceiling of $900 a week on there. So there's going to come a time, by next year or within the next 12 months or so, where he's going to be making his 20% commission is going to exceed $900 a week, I think. But he's going to have that ceiling because he wanted the floor. We put a ceiling on there just for our safety as well. But that means he's making between $36,000 and $46,000 per year, which is great. And again, this guy works like 3 days a week. I mean, like 10 hours, like 30 hours a week. He'll work all day Monday, all day Tuesday sourcing. And he drives all the way to the Twin Cities, which is 100 miles away from here. He does the sourcing all day. It's usually a little over a 10-hour shift. And then on Wednesdays, he comes here. We have a home office just kind of off our house. And he does all the prepping and shipping that day. Gets the boxes ready, leaves in the evening, and then they're picked up by UPS in the morning. So 3 days a week, sometimes 4 if it's a busy week. But to work 3 days a week to make $36,000 to $46,000 a year is incredible, especially for him, and he loves it because he actually just had a son, so now he's a wife and 2 kids. He's able to spend 4 days a week with them. It's really a family-centric position that we've hired him for, and we feel really good about that. But just to qualify that, he's making a lot of money for us. I mean, we invested in him and we were paying him money before he was making anything for us, but now we're experiencing the windfall of all that hard work and effort, and we're making some nice profits of what he's bringing in. And so I kind of went over the hours here. He does the prepping and the listing and the shipping from our house. So his goal every week, we give him a goal, kind of a cap, but also a goal, a budget, to spend $600 a week on inventory, or to hit $6,000 in inventory, or to hit $6,000 in net profit, estimated net profit. So if he's buying items at 200% ROI, in theory, he could spend $3,000 and be done for the week. There is some incentive built in there with his 20% commission to work harder and to source more and more efficiently, to buy product for cheaper, to negotiate down lower, because he is going to make $700 per week. But if he gets the price down a little bit more when he's negotiating, the incentive's there that he can make more. He can make $900 a week. He can make $46,000 a year, which is great. And now we fluctuate and adjust that weekly budget depending on where we're at in our Amazon business. If it's the middle of the spring and sales are down, we may, in the past we might say, okay, let's keep it at the $5,000 range or the $4,500 range. But if the products are selling and things are really going well, then we'll bump it up to $6,000. And maybe even higher. I just want to give you our numbers really quick here. These are earnings from January 1st, 2015 to December 17th, 2015. Our revenue in non-books. So we have some book revenue, but these are non-books. We've done $492,000 in sales, and our gross profit is $105,000. So what we've pulled out in profit for this business is $105,000. And then his payroll so far this year is $31,000. So you can see that he is making us money. We still do feel like we're in the growth stage of our outsourced retail arbitrage business. So a lot of the money that we are making, we're putting back into new inventory, and we're obviously investing in our full-time retail arbitrage guy here. But we are making a profit, which is great. Next month we're going to hire a part-time product lister. So I think, we're looking to separate these responsibilities. He's really good at sourcing. He's not so good at listing, which is fine. He doesn't have the attention to detail we feel like is necessary. Doesn't make huge mistakes, but I think we can get somebody a little more efficient in here to do the listing. And then he can just focus some extra time and attention on sourcing. So maybe we bump up his budget to like $7,000 or $8,000. Then he can spend 3 maybe 4 days sourcing. And then we can have somebody here listing 1 or 2 days. But, the sky's the limit. I'm not really sure where this retail arbitrage business is going to lead us down the road. It's really exciting because, again, it's fully outsourced. I mean, he'll call me occasionally and ask me to look up certain items if he wants to buy something in bulk. We don't want him spending thousands of dollars on a product that we find out as soon as he brings it back as restricted, or we wanted him to avoid. So he does. So there is some daily involvement in activities for me. I could, in essence, hire a manager to handle that. And maybe down the road I will. I just think the possibilities are endless as he continues to build relationships with these store managers. It's just gonna go crazy because right now there's more potential out there than we can tap into, and so eventually we'll be able to get that. He's working with new national store chains and new management, and I'm really excited to see what business has in store for us in the coming months. So in conclusion, I just highly recommend that you focus, systematize, outsource, and automate your book selling business before moving on. So focus on books first. You're here, you're watching module number 6, you're invested into book selling. Do that first before moving on. But just know that there are possibilities out there. There is something over the horizon. If you're anything like me, I get restless doing the same thing for more than like 5 or 6 months. And you don't have to do that. But stick to this right now for the first few months. Get it good, get it solid, and then move on to the next thing if you like. Just don't try to overextend yourself. There's so many fun and exciting things that we could be doing with our time as far as online selling is concerned. Focus on this one, and then you can expand into other areas, other business models, and other products. So thank you for watching so much. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful, encouraging, and inspiring. We'll catch you in the next one.